Hello, this is Adam for Hairpro Club. Today I want to cover the topic, is Pokemon vegan? PETA have raised concerns about whether or not playing the role-playing game Pokemon is vegan or not, because when you look at it, bare facts of the matter, it is a game about going around, tracking down wild animals and capturing them and then making them fight each other. So just on that alone, it does sound a bit ethically a bit worrying. But the full disclosure, I was a massive Pokemon fan when I was in high school. I went to the Pokemon Championships. I was easily the best at it in school. There's another aspect, is you can trade these wild animals, these Pokemon, as commodities. So I used to make a bit of money at school trading some of the ones I'd trained up myself to be really good fighting Pokemon. And I really enjoyed that game growing up. My eldest child also enjoys Pokemon, and I do get where Peter's coming from. Just looking at the facts of the matter, you can capture wild animals, you can trade them, you can fight them, and this is like a fun game that like normalizes that sort of ethical standards, I suppose. But at the end of the day, I suppose I don't agree with everything Peter does and says. Some things I think, you know what, you're completely right, pushing things forward, and then there are other times I think that's absolute nonsense, or there's other times where I think you are right, but society ain't ready for that. Even some of the vegan community isn't ready for that. So I think ethically it falls under the same sort of heading as, do you find Grand Theft Auto to be an ethical thing? I mean, it's a game, but in these games you could play like a fighting game where you're fighting people, or you could play Call of Duty or something and you're shooting people, whereas you'd never do that in your real life. Like with Pokemon, you wouldn't go out and start poaching animals. So whether or not you think it's right or wrong is all about whether you believe that these games imprint that kind of behaviour on an individual to an extent that it actually spills over into their real world life, whether it actually becomes a part of their personality. It's been adopted as part of their moral framework. Now, my partner absolutely hates fighting games, all that sort of thing, whereas I'm not opposed to playing these violent games. I don't honestly see the trouble with it, as long as it stays a game. But you might see that differently, and I think it's on the same page as that, really. Is that, do you think it's a problem? Does the research support that these games can actually make people violent or exploitative, or emulate the behaviour that they've seen or carried out in the virtual world? And I think it's always been a case of people have been able to maintain a clear boundary over what is real and what's not real. But I don't know if that's always going to be the case, because the virtual world and the real world are becoming more and more intertwined, and there are some people who spend probably far too much time in these virtual worlds. But I would think right now that's the minority. I don't think that playing these games right now for the vast majority of people is going to be an issue. So if you enjoy Pokemon, fair enough. I used to as well, but like I say, my son does. I don't really see the issue, but I do understand the point they are coming from. I can see where it is. I can see where that thought process lies. So yeah, like I say, Peter, they haven't always got it right. Sometimes they're very wrong. Sometimes they are just getting ahead of themselves. But I think to dismiss everything that they say as complete and utter nonsense is a bit short-sighted. I think we need to hear them out on everything, really, because they, sometimes they really do have a valid point. But you let me know what you think in the comments. Do you enjoy Pokemon? Has your point of view changed since you've gone vegan? Did you think it was fine and it's not fine now, or have you just stayed the same? Does it not even matter to you? Is it not even on your radar? Is it a case of, I'd much rather worry about what people are doing in their real lives than what they're doing in their spare time for a bit of fun? But like I say, it's not a black and white issue, that one, unfortunately. I wish it was more simple. But yeah, let me know in the comments, and like and subscribe. Thank you.